The road has a memory, not just of the millions of trucks that worked, rusted, and disappeared, but of the few that refused to die. Somewhere behind locked doors, inside museums under restoration lights, or resting quietly in private collections, America's rarest trucks are still here. Not copies, not tributes. The real machines. Steel survivors from a time when engineers were allowed to dream dangerously. When size mattered, power had a smell, and every truck was built with a purpose heavy enough to bend the ground beneath it. This is not a story about ordinary pickups. This is about the American trucks that slipped through history's fingers and somehow came back with their engines, their scars, and their legends intact. 1 Ford Big Red. Start with the one that sounds less like a truck and more like an aircraft trying to hide inside a highway hauler. In 1964, Ford rolled out Big Red, a turbine-powered semi-truck built for a future that never arrived. It stood nearly like a rolling building, painted in a deep red that made it look less manufactured and more launched. At the New York World's Fair, it wasn't just displayed as transportation. It was presented as prophecy. The cab was tall, smooth, almost architectural. Behind it sat the idea that tomorrow's interstate freight might not rumble on diesel at all, but whistle forward on turbine power. Imagine standing near it as the turbine wakes up. No familiar diesel clatter, no slow mechanical coughing, just a rising metallic whine, sharp and strange, like a jet engine being asked to do a truck's job. That was the point. Ford wanted Big Red to feel like progress you could hear before you could understand it. But the future is brutal to prototypes. When a dream becomes too expensive, too complicated, or too far ahead of the road it was meant to conquer, it usually disappears. Big Red did disappear from public view for decades, becoming one of those machines people argued about in half-lit garages and online forums. Was it scrapped, hidden, forgotten? Then the answer came: it survived. Restored, running, and protected after years away from the spotlight. There is something powerful about that. Big Red was not a production truck. It did not haul freight across America for 1,000,000 miles. Its job was different. It carried the weight of imagination, and somehow that may be heavier. 2 Dodge Diora. But not every rare survivor was built to predict the future. Some were built to reshape style itself. The Dodge Diora began life as something humble, a Dodge A100 cab-over pickup. Then Detroit customizers Mike and Larry Alexander, working with designer Harry Bentley Bradley, turned it into a machine that looked like it had escaped from a sketchbook before anyone could make it practical. The body was lowered, stretched, smoothed, and transformed until almost nothing about it felt ordinary. The driver did not climb in through normal doors. The windshield opened, and the front of the truck became the entrance. The engine was moved rearward into the bed area, hidden beneath the clean, custom surface. Under bright show lights, the Diora didn't need to roar. It just had to sit there and make every other truck look old. At the 1967 Detroit Autorama, it became more than a custom build. It became a symbol of a moment when American car culture had no interest in caution. The Diora won major awards, inspired model kits, and became part of Hot Wheels history, shrinking from a one-off show truck into something millions of kids could hold in one hand. Big Red was massive, technical, almost corporate in its ambition. The Diora was intimate, playful, rebellious. It proved a truck could become sculpture without losing its identity. Today, the original Diora survives as a recognized piece of American vehicle history. 3 Tucker Snowcat Model 743. From the polished floor of Detroit, the story moves somewhere colder, much colder. The Tucker Snowcat does not have the theatrical glamour of the Diora or the futuristic arrogance of Big Red. Built in Oregon, the Tucker Snowcat was designed to travel where roads stop mattering. Its 4 independent track assemblies gave it a wide, steady stance, almost like an insect engineered in steel. It did not slice through snow. It floated over it. It crawled across places where wheels would dig down and disappear. One of the rarest surviving examples is the Tucker Snowcat Model 743, connected to the Commonwealth Transantarctic Expedition of 1955 to 1958. This was not a publicity stunt. It was a brutal crossing of one of the most hostile environments on Earth. The machines had to survive deep snow, violent wind, and temperatures that could punish metal until it became brittle. Picture it moving across the white emptiness. No trees, no roads, no buildings. Just a small tracked American machine crawling through the silence, its engine working against a horizon that never seems to come closer. Inside, men listen to the tracks bite into snow, feel the vibration through the cabin floor, and understand that if the machine fails, the landscape will not forgive them. That is why the surviving snowcats matter. They are not just old machines, they are proof that engineering can become lifeline. A pickup might carry lumber, a semi might carry freight, but this truck carried human beings across the edge of the world. 4 Mack No. 7, a half-ton 6x6 prime mover. And then there is the Mack No., the kind of truck that does not ask for attention. It earns it by sheer mass. During World War II, Mack built the No. 7, a half-ton 6x6 prime mover to haul heavy artillery. It was not elegant, it was not futuristic. It looked like a tool designed by people who understood mud, fear, weight, and urgency. The hood was long, the tires were enormous. The frame seemed overbuilt until you remembered what it had to pull. Guns like the 155 Long Tom, with crews, ammunition, and war moving behind it. The Mack No. could tow tremendous weight across punishing terrain. Its 6-wheel drive system, heavy frame, and low gearing gave it the kind of strength that did not need to be advertised. You could see it in the stance. You could hear it in the engine. You could feel it in the slow, deliberate way the machine moved. A Mack No. does not whisper about the future. It tells you what the past cost. When one of these trucks idles, the sound is deep and uneven, like the machine is remembering more than it is running. The steering is heavy. The gears are deliberate. Every movement feels earned. You do not drive a Mack No. casually. You command it slowly with both hands with respect. That is what connects all of these survivors. Big Red, the turbine dream, Diora, the custom icon, Tucker, the polar lifeline, Mack No., the wartime giant. They are different in purpose, shape, and spirit, but each one escaped the same fate. Most rare trucks do not survive history. They get cut up, abandoned, repainted beyond recognition, or left behind when their usefulness runs out. They remain because someone cared enough to preserve more than metal. They preserved risk, imagination, labor, national confidence. The sound of an era when American trucks were not only built to move things, but to prove things. And that is why seeing one today feels different. You are not just looking at a vehicle. You are standing in front of a survivor that outlasted the road it was built for.